Now, you teach speed dating for business.
Yes, I do.
What is that?
Well, essentially, people understand the concept of speed dating in a personal sense, and what we're trying to do is really give people the tools so that they can quickly determine whether the person that they're talking to is someone that they want to continue talking to and engage for further services.
Right. And there's quite a skill set that goes with meeting people and presenting yourself well, isn't there?
There is, and often people focus on the words that actually come out of your mouth, and we know that 95% of all first impressions are actually non-verbal. So how can we bring those other things to the fore so that we don't have to always focus on the words?
Yeah, and this is relevant to you even if you're not in business.
Correct. You can apply it in any avenue that you network and meet new people.
Yeah. So tell me, what are some of the things that influence another person if it's not the words coming out of your mouth?
Well, it's looking at what I call 5 A's, and the first one of those is the appearance. So we are always, without realising it, judging people or looking at what people are wearing, how they have their hair, what accessories they may be wearing. Women are very good at looking and idolising and envious of other people's shoes, etc. So it's really just...
You have great shoes on today.
Thank you very much. So it's really about how we take people in on literally what our eyes see.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your advice to people on that? Obviously, you have to give a bit of thought to your appearance.
With networking, I think that you need to think about, making sure that our clothes are ironed if they need to be. It's a very simple thing that some people forget to do. I've come across many people at an event where they've had food spillages or drink spillages. Not a good look to start with. So it's really just making sure that everything that we wear is crisp and clean and obviously is appropriate for the occasion.
And what's the next A?
The next one is approach, and really that's looking at mentally how we approach an event. Why are we going along? Ultimately, what do we want to get from that? Because a lot of people, I find, will go along to an event and actually just be there to eat and drink, which isn't ideal.
That's me.
The other side to the approach is really the physical. So that's how a person walks in the room. Do they smile? Do they have good posture? Do they look confident?
Yeah. Because
we want to engage with other people that do look confident.
So how do you look confident if inside you're not feeling that confident?
Well, one of my favourite sayings is actually from John Wayne, and it's, courage is about being scared to death but saddling up anyway.
Saddling up, I like that.
Yeah, so it's just taking that opportunity to go, I can do this. If all else fails, I can walk away and I won't necessarily need to, meet these people again.
Yeah. So after you've saddled up, what's the next A?
Accessories, and that's both in a business and personal sense, really what we take along to add to us selling ourselves. Mm-hmm. So in a business sense, it could be business cards, it could be pens, pads, anything that really showcases your business and your brand. And accessories, it could be literally things that we adorn ourselves with that perhaps may be a talking point. Yeah. I've met lots of people, and I find it very interesting. One particular example was a man I met who was wearing a bow tie, and you don't often see men wearing bow ties. And I said, that was a very distinctive bow tie, and he was so chuffed. I never said that I liked it, but he was so chuffed that I had even mentioned it, and he was thrilled to share his story about that for him. And it meant that he was really enjoying the fact that I was engaging with him and wanting to know him.
So you said, oh, you're wearing a bow tie. And he went, thanks.
Yeah. So it's all about perception and how people receive those messages. Yeah.
And what's the next A? How many have we had now?
We've had 3. So number 4 is attitude.
Yes.
I'm amazed at the number of people who go along to events and meet people. And you can tell it's written all over their face that they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
They don't enjoy it, and therefore they don't get anything out of it from there. Yeah. So it's really about going in positive, making sure that we connect with people in a way that's small talk, not too deep and meaningful or too philosophical. Networking is actually just about creating that small talk and connecting with people on a personal level.
Yeah. And the last one?
And the last one is afterthought, and 95% of people go along to events, maybe collect some business cards, but do absolutely nothing about it.
I know.
And often that's the opportunity for us to engage further, to connect with them, to perhaps do business with them.
Yeah. So in summary, what's your key message for people?
I think people enjoy connecting with others when they have a foundation of trusting and liking someone. And I have a passion really to create meaningful and authentic relationships with others. And we do that by providing tools to build rapport, to connect on a personal level. And the key thing really is that networking should focus on the person, not what they do.
Yeah.
Because if we can connect with them, we can get the emotional buy-in, we can create intrigue, we can get curiosity, we can invite them to tell their story. They're more open and receptive to hearing what we have to say.
Okay, brilliant. Love it. Thank you so much for all those tips. That's awesome. Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.